255th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the Chicago Bears select Trenton Gill, punter, NC State.
Because punters are people too. Because punters are people too.
He was like, "Are you ready to become a Chicago Bear?" And I was like, "For sure. Like, I'm ready to go, ready to work, ready to see what happens."
Hey guys, Swifty here covering everything Chicago Bears. Today we finish our rookie breakdowns. First up, I released the Elijah Hicks breakdown earlier. If you haven't watched that yet, be sure to check it out. Don't miss that video. Now is the much anticipated punter breakdown on Trenton Gill. I am double dipping today. I might have both of these videos out a little bit later than normal, but be sure to hit the like button for me on both of these videos, on my punter video and my Elijah Hicks video. Trenton Gill is a 22-year-old baby-faced kid from Hillsborough, North Carolina. He was the final pick of Ryan Poles' first draft and has already all but locked up the starting punter job. This kid has great size at 6'4", 220 pounds, and has a booming leg with nice hang time. He averaged 45.8 yards over his career on 173 punts. He set a school record with a 47.6 yard average in 2019. One of the things that was special about Trenton Gill is he was also the kickoff specialist and the placeholder. Most scouts agreed that in a normal season, aka one that wasn't as deep as this year's class, Gill would have likely been the first punter selected and possibly the only one. A couple of other punters went in front of him, including Bears Twitter mock draft legend Matt Ariza from San Diego State. I'm not going to pretend like I watched any of the punters before the draft. I did, however, watch every punt and kickoff that Gill did in 2021. Luckily, I didn't have to watch the whole season. I found clipped up versions of him. This dude has a big leg, impressive size, isn't afraid of the rush, can do an alternate, shorter version of his punt, similar to a pitcher pitching out of the stretch with runners on base. Gill developed kind of a jab step, which makes it a quicker version of getting the punt out in situations where the coaches thought there was a chance of a punt block. This was impressive to me. He also didn't seem to lose much power from his quicker release. First time ever studying a punter, but it is something I noticed. Maybe Poles and company saw that too. I also like that he has experience as a placeholder and from all reports did an excellent job. So he has a sturdy build and a solid frame with a booming leg. Has experience punting, placeholding, and on kickoffs. He shows good touch and had 65 punts inside the 20-yard line. He didn't have a single punt blocked in 2021 and only 2 blocked in his entire career. Also, his ratio as a punter with placement is impressive. 65 punts inside the 20. But how many touchbacks? Only 18. That is insane to me. 65 out of 83 punts went inside the 20-yard line without going for a touchback. I am sold. What's the downside? Does he have any weaknesses? He actually averaged more net yards per punt in his first year as a starter than he did in his third. That one is a little weird to me, but he had also improved his placement and had almost as many punts inside the 20 last year, 31 total, as he did his entire first 2 seasons combined, 36 total. So while his net yards did go down, his placement and putting the ball inside the 20 got way better. So I think that explains it a little bit. From the outside, someone could see that as a negative until you realize how many punts he placed inside the 20 and watch how good he was at hang time and placing punts. I like it. He also had some punts go out of bounds, and some scouts question his power. I saw plenty of power when watching him punt and do kickoffs, though. Honestly, I feel like he was focusing more on placement and becoming a better punter instead of just out-kicking his coverage. This shows IQ as well, and the limited amount of scouting reports I was able to find on Gill seemed to miss that in my opinion. That lines up with the Bears already releasing the other punter on the team. and it seems like Gill has the starting job all but locked up heading into training camp. That's pretty impressive for a late 7th round pick. It is, but all 11 of our draft picks have the potential to be starters in the NFL. So honestly, it's not that much of a surprise after breaking down all of the other picks. Pat O'Donnell was a solid punter for years, but Gill could end up being an upgrade. As a rookie, I expect he will have some ups and downs this year, but he looks like he's ready to handle the job. Now for some notes. He led the league in punting average for 2 straight years. He led the league in punts placed inside the 20 with 31. The next closest punter had 22. He was a walk-on in 2018, and then he broke the NC State punting record in his first year as a starter in 2019. He led the ACC in punting average and ranked 3rd in the entire nation, which put him firmly on the NFL radar. He had a 75-yard punt that season and 24 punts over 50 yards. He offers tremendous upside. He was named to the AFCA All-State Good Works team due to his community service. He also led a drive in his hometown that raised money for families during COVID. He's the all-time leader in school history for yards per punt with an average of 46.3. He had 114 touchbacks as a kickoff specialist. 114 of his 198 kicks went as touchbacks, and he also made a few tackles in coverage. His 6'4", 220-pound size doesn't hurt as a last line of defense. Let's get into his grades here. I'm just kidding. I don't really have any grades for this guy. He's a punter. He's got a big leg. He has tons of hang time. He can get the ball inside the 20. He seems like a guy that's going to come in and be a punter in the NFL for 10 or 15 years. We've already cut our backup punter, the other guy he was going to compete with. So it seems like he has the job locked down. I'll just throw out, I'm giving him an 8.5. Like, this guy's a day one starter. He's a special teamer and a punter, which obviously is a very overlooked position. But we nabbed this dude late in the 7th round. Listen, punters are people too, guys. I need you guys to remember that. Punters are people too.
Because punters are people too.
The kickers are doing it for the real dudes, the guys who actually play the football. He's ruining their week. The fans who are in the stands and ready to cheer.
Well, guess what? Now this is happening.
Excuse me. Excuse me. What are you doing?
That's how I roll.
Adam Vinatieri, yep.
Who's going to hold my balls for me?
That's a really good question.
Drafted a punter? Punter? Hey, at least he can kick the ball. Got quite a leg on him. With my final thoughts here, this is an easy win for Ryan Poles. The last pick of the draft has already locked down a starting spot. How's that for nailing the draft? That's without even talking about how each one of the previous 10 picks also have starting potential, and at least 3 to 4 will also be day one starters. This is an awesome draft by Ryan Poles. He found playmakers all over the roster and identified the depth and turned 6 picks into 11. Fans should be excited. Punters are people too. Punters are people too. Come on, guys. We got to realize that punters are people too. We need to stop the hate. Stop the violence. Stop the games. Not the football games, though. Punters are people. Honestly, punter was one of the most mocked positions this offseason in mock drafts by Bears fans. Fans had us taking a punter late in the draft in almost every mock. Like, hey, we need a new punter. There are 4 or 5 really good punters in this draft. It seems like a no-brainer. Yet some past Bears GMs might have messed this one up. Not Poles, though. Ryan Poles realizes that punters are people too. All joking aside, though, punters are actually important in today's NFL. Trenton Gill can help the team in 3 ways. Field position on punts, field position on kickoffs, and reliability from place holding. This kid seems like he has what it takes to be a punter in the NFL and puts the cherry on top of Ryan Poles' first draft as general manager. I can't lie, guys. It's been a blast breaking down these rookies. It was a ton of work, but I enjoyed doing it. I hope you guys learned something about this draft class and that you remember at least something about each player long term. I will make this a tradition and break down our draft picks every year moving forward. Be sure to tell me who your favorite rookie is in this class, or if you guys want to rank the rookies for me or tell me which ones you liked or even which video of mine you liked. Leave me those comments. I appreciate the feedback, guys. I love you. Be sure to hit that like button for me. We're not done yet. I got a little something special at the end. As always, you know it. And if you missed it, I also broke down Elijah Hicks earlier today. So if you missed that video, go back and check out my Elijah Hicks breakdown. That one was awesome. This one was a little bit more lighthearted. I tried to have fun with this. I'm doing a punter breakdown video. So I wanted to actually break him down, and I did actually watch all of his punts and kickoffs and some of his place holding as well. So there was some work that went into it, but this video, I tried to end it a little more fun, a little bit more lighthearted. Just remember, guys, punters are people too. And until next time, bear down.
Adam Vinatieri, yep.
Who's going to hold my balls for me?
That's a really good question.
He was like, "Are you ready to become a Chicago Bear?" And I was like, "For sure. Like, I'm ready to go, ready to work, ready to see what happens."
The kickers are doing it for the real dudes, the guys who actually play the football. He's ruining their week. The fans who are in the stands and ready to cheer.
Because punters are people too.
I saw that there boy kick a ball into outer space. This punter has the leg the size of Ditka. He's going to be the greatest punter in NFL history. Up, Bears. Punters are football players. He sure does have a leg on him, though. He's got quite a leg, that boy.
Who's going to hold my balls for me?
Because punters are people too. Because punters are people too.
Drafted a punter?
Because punters are people too.
Punter?
Who's going to hold my balls for me?
Hey, at least he can kick the ball. Got quite a leg on him. Mm-hmm.